Welcome to another video from your daily database insights. And now you pretty much understand what a database is, but for you to really know how to interact with your databases, you need to understand your database state. There are multiple database states, and each state denotes something specific to that type of database or that database. Because some of those states will have your database accessible for you to be able to do something specific, like trying to repair a damaged or corrupted or something going on with the database. And some states will definitely allow you to access the database, use it as normal, which we would consider a normal state. And of course, some states would definitely mean that there's something that you really need to address either on the database level or on the file system level or whatever it is. But in all these states, well, one thing for sure is once you understand the state, then you know exactly how to approach whatever situation it is that you need to approach. You are always go to location to try to determine the issue is going to be your error log. You can access your error log by going to the file system where the error log file is located, and then you can open that error log file using your notepad from that box, or you can read your error log by executing this stored procedure that I have typed on the screen right now. This is going to give you all the details for your error log or what's really happening on your error log. And of course, if you look at this section here, it's going to show you actually where the error log is located. So to start, we have the online state of a database. This is showing that your database is online and it's in a normal state and it's available for access. All the databases that you're able to access, or at least that you should be able to access, should be online. If you're not able to access an online database, then that's something totally different from the database state specific issue. It might be a privileged access. You don't have the privilege to access that database, and of course you will know that from the type of error that you get. If a database is offline, you won't be able to access an offline database. How do you want to? Well, to make a database offline, I mean, you can right click it, go to task, take it offline. This is going to allow you to check this database offline. Now, once that database is offline, you won't be able to access it. And if you see now, you can see that the status is offline. Of course, you can see that it's offline. If you try to access it, it is not accessible. Restoring database, like what we are seeing over here, pubs database, there is probably one or more files of the primary file group that are currently being restored. It could be by design, in the sense that you have configured you're trying to configure maybe a database mirror, or you're trying to pre-stage this environment for a cutover. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, you have decided to put it in a restoring state so that you can apply the next log sequence or log backup, so that it can be restored to the point in time until you're ready to recover all the redo and undo records or transactions in that database file. Then we have a database in a recovering database. A recovering database, probably the recovering process is usually a transient state. So if you see your database is in recovery, you have to give it time, and it will eventually finish recovering. Normally, if your database is in recovery, you can run the stored procedure, the read error log stored procedure, and if you look at the log file, you will be able to track the percentage in recovery, and you should be able to tell how far you need to wait for your database to finish recovering. Instances when a database would go into recovery would be you were having a very heavy transaction running into your database environment, and everything was just frozen, and somebody in your team decides, hey, let's do this, let's bounce this box. And at this point, a heavy transaction may have been running in a really big database for, let's say, several hours. What is going to happen here is the box or the server is going to be rebooted, and then when it comes back online, the transactions that had already been committed and the uncommitted transactions are going to be redone. So the log is going to replay all the redo stuff, and it's going to reapply all the committed transactions up to that point. And these are going to be transactions that had not been flashed into memory. So it's going to be reapplying all the committed transactions, and then it's going to be undoing all the uncommitted transactions. And that time of doing all of that is going to put your database in recovering state. When your database is in recovery pending, in this case, most of the time your SQL Server is going to have encountered a resource related error during the recovery. And again, it could be the database files are missing, or a system resource limitation may be preventing it from starting. Pretty much at this point, the database is unavailable, and of course, you need to again go into your error log or execute the store procedure to be able to understand exactly what is going on. When your database is in suspect state, at least the primary file group is always in suspect at this point, and it may be damaged. Of course, you may need to explore the options of looking at your error log, but the database at this point cannot be recovered because due to the fact that it's not able to start at this point. So you may be able to repair it using DBCC, and at some point you may also be able to allow for some data loss. Actually, if it's in suspect, the first thing you need to do is to set it in emergency mode, and then you need to go ahead and set it into single user mode, and then from there you need to run your DBCC to check the database whether there's any corruption in the data file, and then of course you need to repair it, allowing for some data loss if that is the option that you have. And after that you will switch it back to multi-user situation. And that really explains what emergency state really is. It is a state that allows you as a sysadmin to connect to that database so that you can run some repair activities. You can inspect the database, you can figure out what's going on without anybody else who is not sysadmin trying to connect to that database as well. Alright, so that concludes what a database state really is, and there is going to be a ton of situations that you will encounter when it comes to specific solving issues or errors due to these database states. How to put your database in emergency is pretty straightforward. You just alter your database and set emergency with rollback immediate or something like that. That should get you there. Alright, if you need more information about this, please put a chat on the comment section. And if you know anybody who is trying to understand what a database state is, you must show them this video. Thank you and have a good day.